see that teams really aren't respecting your 3-point shot and aren't really closing out on you? How does that affect, what you do during the course of the game? Does it make you maybe a bit more willing to fire it up? Or when you just see that the defense isn't coming down hard on you, how does that affect what your offensive approach?
Yeah, I think that's something that RT has really stressed to me is that if they're gonna let me shoot, then shoot the ball. He has a lot of confidence in my ability to shoot the ball. So just listening to what he has to say to me and taking direction from him and just trusting in the work that I put in for sure.
Thomas Jones, please.
Dylan, good afternoon. Hey, how does starting a game help you as a player?
I mean, starting a game versus coming off the bench is two different feels. From the bench, I guess you kind of see the way the game's flowing and try not to interrupt the flow of the game. Whereas when you're starting, I guess like you are establishing the flow of the game and what's going to happen. So I would say that's the biggest difference. But I don't think that was the reason that I had a good game or the reason we won per se. I just think that we had a different mindset going in as a team on Tuesday, and that's what's the difference in the game.
Eric Henry, please.
Dylan, just want to, kind of circle back to the game there and ask you about kind of the minutes restriction. You mentioned on the broadcast that you kind of between that 20, 25-minute mark. How did you feel prior to the Cincy game as far as, getting back into the groove of things? And B, now that you played the 34 minutes, how do you kind of feel, kind of exceeding that 20 to 25 minutes per game?
Yeah, I wasn't on a minute restriction on Tuesday or really the past couple games for that matter. Just those first couple for sure. We were just trying to, watch how my body responded to things. But my body feels great. Everything has really come down to either foul trouble or conditioning for me. As RT's probably told you, I'm just working myself back into shape. Having no summer, no fall, very little winter. So that's really the biggest thing for me is just trying to get back into shape.
Corey Mose, go ahead, please.
What's up, D? I know I also wanted to refer about the post-game interview as well. You mentioned how I've been hearing the outside noise about how this year's team isn't like last year's team, and y'all are using that as motivation. So how much does that motivate y'all to hear that outside noise?
Yeah, especially for the guys that were here last year. We know this isn't last year's team. We lost a lot of pieces, but we got a lot of great pieces back this year with the addition of Max and Caden and IT. And the younger guys. We know that this is a team that if everything gels well and we play together and we peak at the correct time, that this is a good team and that we can make a run as well. So we definitely hear that noise on the outside, and we definitely want to prove those people wrong.
Terry Middleton, please go ahead.
Dylan, so you mentioned that starting the game versus coming off the bench had no, impact on how you performed so well or why you guys won the game. So I'm curious, why did you play so well, and why did you guys win that game? What was the factors going into all that?
Yeah, I mean, the game on Saturday, we definitely thought we let one get away, and that came down to how we approached that game and the way we play. We thought that we allowed Texas Tech to outcompete us and play harder and want the game more than us. And we didn't want it to come down to that again. We wanted to be the first to the floor every single time, playing harder, being physical. We knew that since he was going to be a very physical team, and we wanted to be able to match that physicality as a physical team ourselves. And so I think that's really what it came down to for us.
And was that the reason why you did such a great game as well?
Well, I also knew that without Caden that I would have to be a little bit more aggressive. Obviously, we knew that they were going to drop on the pick and rolls. And so that was going to give me top of the key 3-pointers. And we thought eventually they would make an adjustment, but they decided not to because Max and Tyrese are such a threat going downhill. And so with those continued looks, I just was able to get in the rhythm and had a good game. It could be anyone at the next game.
Mike Hards, go ahead, please, sir.
Scott, you'll be proud to know that I am not driving. I actually found a parking spot this time, my friend. So you're good. You're good. Dylan, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Quick question for you. You know, there was a lot of conversation about how much you've improved over the last few years. Obviously, coming off of the injury, you're still trying to get your legs. But what do you continue to believe is the reason why you've improved so much? I know hard work. I understand all that stuff. But what do you attribute your improvement as a basketball player each year?
I think the biggest thing for me, especially in the last year and a half, has just, or the last year, yeah, year and a month or so, it's just been um, the confidence and encouragement that RT has placed in me. Um, there was workouts that I would be working out in the gym, and he'd stand up here. If y'all have been in the building on the rail and encourage me to continue to shoot the ball and be ready to shoot the ball in the game. And that was just before the Baylor game last year, and I had 24 points in that game, 3 for 4 from three. Um, so just little things like that. The other night, even after I missed my first 2 threes, he continued to encourage me, continued to tell me to shoot the ball, and that we want those shots and that I'm going to make those shots. And so just those things, that confidence that he has instilled in me, has helped me to kind of return back to form, kind of give me the same level of confidence I had in my sophomore year at Vanderbilt, and being aggressive all the time.
Last one for Dylan to Thomas Jones, please, sir.
Dylan, you know, this conference, man, I mean, Kansas lost on the road, U of H lost on the road. Did this feel like a really big win, even though it's still so early in the season?
Yeah, we knew that that we let one get away on Saturday, and you have to protect home court, especially in the Big 12, because the Big 12 is a beast. There's no off nights. So we knew that we had to go get this one. No one wants to start 0-2. That's a big hole to try to get yourself out of this early in the conference season. So it was a big one for us, but we also believe that every game is a big game. So the next game is another big game for us on the road. We want to get to a winning record, get to 2-1, and prove that Tuesday wasn't a fluke, or Tuesday wasn't just something out of the ordinary. That we are a team that can compete, and we're a team that can go win games on the road.
Thomas, any follow-up, sir?
Coach, good afternoon. Number one, how's Caden doing? It looked like he took a hard fall on his back against Tech. And then number two, regardless of whether Caden's ready to go against West Virginia, is Dylan back in the starting lineup now full time?
Thomas, yeah, to answer your first part of it, yeah, Caden had some issues there at the very end of the game against Texas Tech at home, with his lower back area. You know, we felt that, you know, he needed some time, over the course of this week to try to work him back in a little bit. I think he's getting in a better place right now. Warren, those guys have done a great job with him to this point right now. There's a chance that, he could be available, come Saturday. You know, Dylan Disu, regardless of whether or not, you know, Caden's, you know, available or not, he's back in the lineup. It was time to go ahead and insert him back in the lineup already.
Corey Mose, please.
Hey, Coach. Just talking to Dylan, he mentioned last season how you used to watch him work out, shoot a lot of jumpers, and you used to encourage him to take those shots, especially in the games, and now you see the fruits of that. And so how important was it for you to instill that confidence into Dylan throughout these last couple months?
Yeah, no, Corey, you know, throughout the course of games last year, there were some times that he passed up some opportunities, and I would literally get on him pretty harshly about, hey, that's the best shot we would have got in the entire possession. Take that shot. I want you shooting that ball, you know. And even in the game the other night, you know, he was constantly encouraged. I'm like, hey, shoot that ball, man. I want that shot. You know what I mean? So there was some shots that he passed up that I thought he could have taken as well. So, but no, he was a green light guy for us. He pushed the time in. You know, going into the summer, we talked about he needed to be a stretch guy for us that could make see himself making 2 to 3 threes a game for us. Last year we went into the game saying that he needed to make at least 1 3 for us. You know, but through his hard work and the amount of time he's put in, he's a guy that has become a green light shooter for us.
Eric Henry, please.
Good afternoon, RT. Just a two-part question for you on IT Horton. One, the past two ball games with 22 combined minutes, has only gotten up 2 shots, hasn't scored. Just as a staff, what do you need to do to kind of get him going? And the second part of that question, is it maybe an adjustment for a guy like him, whether it's been at UCF, Pitt, Delaware, he's primarily been a starter, just kind of adjusting and finding his rhythm off the bench?
I think he's really embraced that. You know, we always talk to our guys about being stars in their role. And I think he's really embraced, you know, just having an opportunity when his number's called to come in and be ready. You know, he's a guy that we strongly encourage every time that he's open and he gets a really good clean look. We want him shooting the basketball at all times and thinking about scoring at all times. I think the one thing, you know, and a lot of times it goes unnoticed because you don't see points and everything. But I thought he did a great job of really defending in the last ball game. He came in and played really hard defensively for us, you know. And I think over the last, you know, give or take 4 or 5 ball games, he's come in the game with a really good defensive mindset. And, you know, he knows his job is to come in and make open shots for us and be a guy that's a scoring threat at all times.
Mike Harge, please.
What up, Coach? How you doing?
Like, good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Quick question for you, because a lot of people always don't want to look back in the rearview mirror. They always want to look out the windshield. But going back to the game on Saturday, what was your biggest takeaway from the game on Saturday that you implemented and made sure that you pointed out for the next game against Cincinnati?
Well, I thought again, you know, we've been doing a pretty good job up until that game of really valuing taking care of the basketball. I think, you know, Texas Tech scored like 23 points off of our turnovers, and it wasn't really what they were doing as much as it was us. You know, not valuing just taking care of the ball and making simple plays. You know, and you know, you can't do that in the Big 12. You know, you can't beat yourself. You got to take care of the basketball. These are going to be possession games. You don't have to play perfect, but you just need to make simple plays, you know, and, you know, just share the basketball and have a 0.5 mentality in terms of moving the ball and not letting it stick. You know, so that was a takeaway for us in that game. You know, as hard as it is to say sometimes, I thought that they beat us to 50-50 balls. We like to think that we're a team that tries to win that battle. They won that battle in that ball game, and the physicality piece, they were more physical than us in that game. So, you know, I thought our guys answered the bell. You know, I thought myself included. I thought that I didn't do a great job preparing our guys to be as physical as they needed to be heading into the opener. And I also thought, and I took it upon myself to say that, hey, you know, we're gonna get back to winning the 50-50 ball game as well, because I'm gonna do my part to make sure that we're tough enough to try to win that part of the game as well. And then just emphasizing how important it is to take care of the ball.
Terry Middleton, please.
Coach Terry, good afternoon. So after the game, you had said that winning is fun, but also watching the game, winning is very hard. So I'm curious, what do you guys do in practice? Because the game is really a reflection of the practice. What do you guys do in practice to stay calm and smooth till the very last seconds?
Well, I think, again, we always go into games, you know, like I said, I've said before, you know, get really lost playing hard on the defensive end of the floor, and the game comes easy to you. We have an energy board, or a board where we measurables in terms of guys' activity, you know, and Dylan Disu had a great offensive night, but he also had a great energy and activity night as well. He led us in deflections. He led us in getting on the floor for 50-50 balls. You know, when you're playing that way and you play relentlessly that way, then offense comes easy to you. But we go into games telling our guys, hey, let's just go out and do what we practice. We're not going to ask you to go into any game and do something that you haven't practiced. And, you know, and then you got to work the game for 40 minutes. Basketball is a game of runs. You've got to be able to put some stops together, consecutive stops, and then you got to execute at a high level offensively. And if you do those things, valuing taking care of the basketball, you get a shot every time down, then you're going to put yourself in position to be right where you need to be, you know, at winning time. And I think for us, you know, at winning time, you know, I believe we end up calling one timeout late in the game. Well, we needed to make sure that, you know, I needed to make sure that my guys knew in a hostile environment I think we were down 3. We don't need a 3 right now. We don't need a 3. It's not a time for a 3. We got plenty of time to work this game and finish this game out, but a 3 is not what we need. So, we needed to set something up where we knew we were going to get a high percentage shot, and we did. And, we were able to convert that. And then, came to the end of the game, you got to trust your players. Sometimes you can overcoach and give the team, the other team a chance to set their defense. And, now you're putting pressure on, yourself in regards to trying to get a play to the rim. No coach can just put a guy right at the rim to win the game. You know what I mean? So, I think at the end of the day, you have to trust what you practice and trust what you do.
Thank you.
Corey Mose, please.
Yeah, coach, when the clock hit 0, you showed a lot of emotion. Got a little high kick, was worried for your hammy for a little bit. But just
I wasn't trying to show Wes up. I didn't want to do that at all. But you get so excited and you're caught up in the game, that man, you're just really happy for your guys.
Yeah. Hey, you switched it real quick to the handshake. I see it. But I just wanted to ask you, with that emotion, though, some people may say that's the second conference game of the year. Why have so much that excitement? But winning in a hostile environment, how important was it for your team to do that after the loss to Texas Tech?
Well, I think I'm always excited, so I have to kind of, talk to God to try to help me to have a calm demeanor, and so my guys can stay calm as well. But and then we always tell our guys, hey, you know what, we try to carry ourselves to where we work the game, and you try to expect to win. You don't hope to win, and have this crazy celebration out on the floor like you won a national championship, and everything. So, you try to carry yourself the right way. But I think that was just the build up for, I was really excited about how hard I had competed that night. That was a physical game against a good team on the road in a hostile environment. And, I thought they stood toe to toe, and, they laid it all out there. They really did. We got loose balls. We were on the floor, first to the floor. We were physical with our blockouts. We played a physical style of Texas basketball. We took care of the basketball. We had 11 turnovers in the game. And I was just really proud of the way they got themselves up off the mat and the approach that they had from the previous day going into that game. And then obviously what they were able to do in the game. So I think that was just a bottle of emotion, and really in celebration of what they were able to do.
Last one to Joe Cook, please.
RT, just kind of what your thoughts on West Virginia. I know they got that 5-10 record, but they also have 3 guys who just returned to availability, basically, who have helped them in the past few games despite those losses.
No, absolutely, Joe. Very misleading in terms of their record. You know what I mean? I mean, they played a number of those games without their full complement of guys, and you're talking about a couple starters that they played a number of those games with early in the season with. Now, having 5 games back with some of those guys, and now they're still, without Edwards, who also was an impact player as well, coming back from a broke hand. They're an extremely talented team. Josh has done a really good job in recruiting and putting together a really good talented roster, and one that, you got to come and really try to outcompete at a very high level. I mean, offensively, they put a lot of pressure on you. Battle, one of the best players in this league. I mean, he's a 3-level scorer and 6'5", and he can do it all. You talk about Kerr. I mean, he's a guy that can shoot the basketball. When he comes across half court, he's in range, to shoot the basketball and score the basketball, and one of the top assists, leaders in the Pac-12 last year. So you're talking about elite level point guard. And then you talk about Farrakhan, who can score that ball at a very high level as well. And then you start talking about the guys that were already playing previously that were doing a great job, and leading them in scoring as well. So you talk about a very talented roster, and one that it's going to put a lot of pressure on us defensively to try to get stops, especially on their home court.